Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the weekly video recording for you. Okay, so what we are going to look at today, as usual, we are going to look at the US market first, then we are going into the Singapore index, then followed by various Singapore stocks. Okay, so let's take a look at the Dow. So what do we have with the Dow? Dow, we see the Friday good closing where you open higher and close up higher, and it forms a nice white candle. So what do we see here is that it has a resistance at 34849 to test and break. As of now, what we are looking at is that the Dow futures is slightly positive or flat. So hopefully things can turn around where Dow can continue higher. As anticipated many videos ago, we are looking at Dow to have a slight pullback and then rebound and then hit its all-time high resistance at 35094 around there, and then break up from there to form another all-time high. So if the scripts were to continue, we would see that Dow hit 34849 tonight, and then hopefully it can break up from there and then go higher from there. But if it doesn't go as planned, some quick pullback to somewhere 34680 or slightly lower is still okay, so long as it doesn't would go break the low. So it doesn't break the low of this number 34618. That should be fine. So what we are looking at is a good closing tonight. S&P 500 went up, and then it is almost to its all-time high resistance right here. What we are seeing is that if it can break out from this resistance, then we have an all-time high. Now, if you take a look at the shape that we have right now with S&P 500, we are looking at a chart formation where there may be more upward movement with a projection. So if it can break out successfully and continue its trend, S&P 500 has a projection of 4426. And that will be a very strong bullish sign. For Nasdaq, very strong rally that pushed Nasdaq to its resistance at 13777. And if Nasdaq can break out tonight, then we hope that it can close above 13822 or higher, and then therefore it has a chance to move back to its all-time high level at 14071. So if this happens, then we can see various tech stocks continue to go higher. Tech stocks like Tesla forms a bullish Harami pattern. So bullish Harami pattern where if the rebound were to continue, where Tesla were to close above 608 around there, the resistance to meet is around 635. And there, if we can have a rebound, a nice rebound, then we have a nice W formation over here. And there, Tesla would potentially have a protected level if the breakout can happen successfully, a projected level around 724 if we have a nice W pattern. Then we have AMD, which is forming a flag formation. So what we are looking at is a flag formation with a potential breakout. It may bring this counter up to a very good level to around $86. Okay, so its resistance is actually at around $89. So let's see where this counter can close tonight. Whether it can break out tonight is also very important, right? Then we have Square, inverted hammer, come bullish Harami, and therefore we need a good closing above 219. Then it has a resistance at 227. A breakout from there will help to bring this counter back to 240 resistance, then followed by the resistance at 260. So these are very popular tech counters that I myself have in my watch list, and then actively trading them. So it is for your reference, for you to take note, okay, tonight. So let's watch how the US will perform tonight, okay. Now we have STI right now. So today STI have a very good day as compared to its peers. Hang Seng had a very bad day as it closed negative. So what do we see here is that STI opened higher, significantly higher, and closed higher, a nice white candle. Therefore, confirming this inverted hammer and help to push towards the 3193 resistance. So if we can break above its 3193 resistance, then we can have the next resistance tested at 3206. So let's hope that tomorrow we can see the continuation of this upward movement. Okay, so if upward movement were to happen, then we may see a few counter move up. Now with the banks, starting with the banks, DBS have a resistance at 3060, where it is moving towards it. Very nice opening and closing today, and the volume has spiked up slightly. So this definitely is a good sign. So let's see whether we can move up. OCBC has a resistance at 1258 and a good closing today. So a good start for the week, and definitely if we can test 1258 and beyond, 1261, then it's going to go for an all-time high. And if this is happening, so let's take a look at this chart formation, and if I dare to dream about this, a very nice projected level, which shows that OCBC may have a potential upside to 1364. Well, that's for a very good reference. That's a good reference for me, and a very good one for myself. So let's hope that this would happen. First, we must see OCBC breakout successfully above 1261. UOB, good rebound, resistance to meet around 2649, I beg your pardon, 2649 to 2656. And then once it breaks up from there and retest the 2683, then we may see some more upside. Now, if I were to draw a line that connects the highs together, this is also a chart formation. So if I were to dare to dream, then we have a projection upon the breakout. UOB has a target at 2845. So let's see whether the banks can fulfill this target. So if it really breaks out, it can bring STI to the next new high. Let's look at the tech counters, which many are interested because counters like Frencken actually went out strongly this morning. Tested its resistance at 180, but failed to break out from there. So selling pressure comes in to push this counter to close significantly lower, forming a long upper shoulder, suggesting a very strong uncertainty about its upward movement. But nevertheless, this is not the death penalty. What we are looking at is that if this counter were to form a white candle like this, the next day, tomorrow, we may see 180 tested again and eventually may break out from there. So the next few candles are very important. UMS also stuck at this resistance over here, where you can see that it tested 148 resistance, but eventually got pushed down lower, forming a black candle and a upper shadow. So this upper shadow suggests uncertainty about breaking this resistance. But again, the chance of breaking the resistance are not gone yet. Eventually, if it were to break above the resistance, it may go much significantly higher. But a nice pullback will be most welcome, where this counter has a good rest and then retest back its resistance, forming a nice formation over here. Then we are looking at a projection level approximately towards, initially the projection was at 154. Now with this new development, it may go to 167 eventually. Let's see what would happen to UMS. AEM, despite closing lower, the chances of going up is still not gone yet, because if it can close as a white candle ending around here the next day, it may form a higher low, therefore continue its uptrend. And if it can break above 377 resistance, it is likely to approach the gap, and gaps are meant to be filled. Remember that. So gaps are meant to be filled. So once the gaps fill up over here, this gap over here fill up, then uptrends will continue. Eventually, it may hit 417 resistance. So this is a very important resistance to watch as well, because it has been tested many times and failed to break out from there. Then we have Nanofilm staying at the top, quite resilient. So we have a consolidation going on in a tight range. So if this counter can eventually break out successfully, what we are expecting is that this counter, if I were to do a conservative projections, daring projections will be all the way from here. Then a breakout, then we can see it going to 618, which many weeks ago, some analysts targeted Nanofilm to go 622. Well, seems like 618 is not so aggressive after all. Now, if I were to do a conservative projection, not so aggressive, then we are looking at 556 thereabouts. Okay, so the target at 556. So let's see whether Nanofilm goes there. Okay, a few counters that I just want to highlight that may have potential chance to rebound. First, Yangzijiang, we see a downward movement with lower volume, and then Yangzijiang right now is actually above, just around its support level. So a rebound from the support level may suggest a reversal upwards towards this resistance at now 1.54. Okay, so watch out for this counter for the next few days and see what happened at its support at 144. And if it can hold at this support and rebound from there, it will be a good opportunity to look for an entry. Leong Asia, today we see a very nice white candle form and volume spike up. So here suggests that this counter may have a chance to move up to 103 resistance or even 106 resistance. So let's see whether the next few days they are follow through buying. So if there's follow-up buying to push this counter to 103, the chances of going higher has increased. So let's watch. Wilmar is still consolidating at the low with this downtrend line that I've drawn earlier. So if you see this line happening for this counter, if this counter can break above this line, then we may see some upward movement coming with the resistance to break at 487, then 498. So hopefully if we can go to 498, then we have a nice bottoming sign that may lead to a higher movement from this counter, with a projection to make is around 527 thereabouts. Okay, so around here 527. Grand Venture is still consolidating with its flat pattern, and then we need a breakout with spike in volume happening. So if this happens, we would like to see the volume around, best is 1.2 million. Then this tells us strong buying pressure to push this counter back to 84.5 or eventually a significant breakout. Union Gas, we are looking at the a pennant formation with a projected level at around 1.03 level. So if this counter can have another round of breakout, then you can watch for 1.03. Then last but not least, of course, I won't be able to cover all the counters. Ban Leong, this counter I actually covered before in my email. I can't remember whether last week I talked about it. It has broke out from its formation over here, and now it is consolidating again with another breakout on the cut. If it can break out, the next projected level will be around 42 cents. Okay, so as the market works towards the reopening, so we have COVID cases going down, there are more chance that our market can sustain its bullishness. So let's hope that this happens. So with this, thank you for viewing the video. I hope that I'm not speaking too fast. So if I'm speaking too fast, you can rewind and then hear again so that you can catch some of the essence of what I have discussed. Okay, so with this, thank you very much for viewing this video. I'll see you next week. Goodbye and stay safe.